What's going on, comic friends? Welcome back to the Council of X. I hereby call this session in session. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We've got some new members in in the chat or in the video session tonight. We've got Deadpool himself, and we've got Sasquatch, aka Sabretooth.
I resemble that remark, human.
All right, thanks for joining me, guys. Of course, we've got Sasquatch Comics with us. We've got Troy from Awesome Toy Box with Troy, and we've got my man Dan's X-Men Comics on board for this evening. We kind of organized this a little bit last minute, so not as many of the members could come on tonight. Bruce was supposed to, I think he's got some family stuff he's got to take care of, and Mike's on vacation, and unfortunately Eric's having problems with his internet, so it just didn't line up for some of the guys. But we're still going to have an awesome discussion tonight, because this past weekend, as everybody knows, the Marvel MCU came back with a vengeance, and Deadpool and Wolverine came out and crushed the box office. I just saw a post that said it's the sixth largest or most lucrative domestic opening ever of any movie in box office history. Sixth best domestic, so in the US. And it's
number one R-rated.
Number one R-rated. It's grossed over $400 million in the first weekend worldwide. It is, and I mean, the reviews are off the charts. People are flocking to the theaters. Guys, I want to get your initial reaction. Don't get into the specifics. How did you feel walking away from the theater, seeing that movie for the first time? What did you think of the movie overall? Whoever wants to jump in first could jump in first.
I had wet pants.
I'm so wet right now.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Well, that's a very graphic yet revealing and maybe appropriate reaction to the movie.
Yeah.
Josh, what were your thoughts?
Excuse me, Joshua is not here. We are now in the MCU multiverse, so I'm hopping around finally. And I need to tell you guys, in most of the universes that I've interdimensionally slid into, the Council of X, you guys are fucking famous. Famous. So I'm an honorary member in many, so I'm an honorary member here. And every how long has Hugh Jackman been doing Wolverine? 24 years?
Yeah.
So for 24 years, I come out of my interdimensional cave. 24 years ago, I just happened upon an outdoor movie that you humans love so much. It's falling into Kentucky. You need to do more of it. And from the edge of the woods, I saw him. I saw the Jackman. And what you guys don't know is that the Wolverine isn't played by Hugh Jackman in any other universe. So for 24 years, I specifically come out for these movies. And you know what? They're an event. This movie, this Deadpool Wolverine movie, biggest event for a film that I've felt such deep feelings for. And Joshua too. He was moved deeply. Now, he doesn't know if it was a good movie or not because he hasn't seen it a second time. But let me tell you, I was wet in my pants and Troy's pants and Dan's pants and Ryan's pants. I wet everyone's pants.
You were in my pants? Wait a second.
Yeah, I shit your pants.
That's what that was.
I thought my pants felt loose after I left. I was like second.
That was that rustling feeling I felt. All right.
I'm like the wind.
Richard had an erection for us all. I mean, well,
yeah, let's before we get to Dan, let's just say hi to our friend Richard first in the chat before we even launch. Always happy to see Richard in the chat. He said hi, guys. He also said that he had a 2-hour long erection. So we're having all very similar, reactions to the film here.
Not long enough to have to call the doctor.
And Mikey G said amazing. I think he was reacting to Sasquatch, but maybe it was the movie too. Dan, what were your thoughts? What were your feelings? What were your reactions?
The feeling throughout the movie was kind of exactly what I would want and expect from a comic book movie. It was a ton of fun. There was just enough to feel that there's some heaviness to it, but it was also very light as far as like the stakes of it, right? And I guess I just didn't need that. I was just there to have fun, and it delivered.
That sounds like a lot of people had that same reaction. Dan and I were actually on with Rohan on the Absolute Game of Nerds. So if you watched it, you might already know our takes on the video, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of people watching it for the first time or watching our reactions or our thoughts on this stream for the first time. And I gotta say, so I walked away from the movie conflicted. One, because I had this unidentified feeling in my pants that apparently was Sasquatch. But no, other than that, I walked away thinking the movie was fantastic, a ton of fun, as Dan said, so much fan service, and we'll get into that. But I'm a big MCU nerd, and one of the things that kind of always gets me going on MCU movies, and kind of one of the things I need out of an MCU movie to walk away super satisfied, and that is a tease or some form of excitement for what's coming, some story building, some universe building. And I just think that was a little lacking in this film.
Yeah.
It was very self-contained, and I think I was expecting more from that. So, and I think one of the other big things was the end credit scene didn't live up to what I had heard about it. And so that was like my last thing I experienced. And so I walked away conflicted. But like Sasquatch said, I've only seen it the one time, and I have to go back and see it again because I think I'm going to love it even more the second time around. I'm already seeing things on Twitter and IG clips and things from the movie that I didn't even realize when I was watching it, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go see this again and like just nerd out some more. So overall, I loved it, but I had some conflicted feelings because I wasn't jazzed about where the MCU is going from here from the movie, which I always want to have.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit like a standalone, and I agree. Like as far as being the letdown part, only came from the hype leading into it. I tend to get really affected by when people tell me how good something is. I really tend to expect a lot out of that. Yeah, dude, Sasquatch. So Sasquatch, you saw it twice.
No, he hasn't seen it twice, right?
No, Sasquatch has only seen it once, but Joshua's seen it twice.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And Joshua has some opinions, so maybe I'll do a Joshua impression later.
Okay, good. Well, we're looking forward to talking to Josh tonight too. Yeah. So like I
thought Sasquatch was like a West Coast kind of a thing, but he definitely has a heavy East Coast accent.
You know what? My cousin Bigfoot got filmed because they're an ass clown, as you humans like to say. And people always give me a hard time because I don't have big hands and feet. Sasquatches don't have big hands and feet. At least this one does, and I'm dainty. Okay. And I have a little Squatch complex because of you humans. That's why I don't come out unless these events are happening. They are. So I'm going to do a little Josh impression. Okay. Here's what he wanted me to tell you.
Okay.
So the first time I saw it, I was just caught up in, I think, the elation of everyone in the theater and just the fan service and how messy like the narrative was and how hard it is for like Deadpool exposition and for to bring all that together. And yeah, it would echo what Ryan says. Like, I love to see more world building too. Like, so I think that's my big takeaway on the second watch. And for the second watch, I was a little not sold on Paradox. I thought he was too much comedy and he needed to be more straight man. But on the second watch, I actually was like, you know what? I dug what he brought to the table for the most part.
Yeah, I did really enjoy that character.
But but Cassandra Nova, the second go around, really stood out to me as really underrated. She's really good. That actress is phenomenal.
She's very good. She's a very good actress.
Yeah, there's so much more to like break down and say about this film, but yeah, dude, Ryan Reynolds, he is a fucking gem. A fucking gem. And Hugh Jackman, I mean, there's a reason why interdimensional beings come out of, their caves for this, because it's like there's nobody better.
How could you resist? Yeah.
He has truly he is Wolverine in a lot of ways. Although I feel like I'd be down to see a new take. But when
it's gotta be different.
When he brings it on, it's amazing. I want to ask all you guys, what was if you could pick one favorite moment from the movie, and I know that's a tough question, what would be your favorite moment from the film?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's a hard one.
You guys probably need a moment to think about it. To be honest,
I don't know if it's my favorite, but the most unexpected part of the film for me was when Wesley Snipes walked through the door.
Yeah.
I knew about Elektra already. There'd been rumblings about Gambit. I had not heard that he himself was going to end up being in this movie, and how they held on to that fact as well as they did is mind-blowing in this day and age.
Yeah, especially with all the news about the delays on the Blade movie and stuff,
What was great about that too is, if you know the history of Blade, like on the production side, and I mentioned this on Rohan's stream, he and Ryan Reynolds didn't get along. Like, Ryan Reynolds didn't enjoy filming Blade 3. He didn't like dealing with Wesley Snipes, who is notoriously not a super. He wasn't likable in his heyday. I think probably as he's gotten older and he's been humbled a little bit, he's probably a little bit more chill now, as a lot of older people get when they get old. But it's cool that they patched it up and they came together to make that cameo happen. Because he had some great moments too. Like, even when he said some motherfucker still trying to skate uphill or whatever that line is.
Yeah.
from the old Blade movie, or when he's like, there's only ever will be one Blade, and then Deadpool stares at us in the audience.
The implications.
I know. So, yeah. But yeah, that was a great cameo. One of the all-time Marvel cameos, I think.
Yeah. I have a conspiracy theory that I just came up with about that, right? Okay, so Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3 and he had red on his thing. What if it was Ryan, like Wade Wilson, as a young man using a pseudonym in order to fight with Blade, right? Before he goes Deadpool. So that's Wade Wilson. Deadpool is already. He says, like, everyone knows you, like, almost implying like I know you too. So that's my working theory. That's my hot take. Take it, internet. Sasquatch gives.
Only issue with that is, in the movie, he was a former vampire, and as far as I know, in Deadpool's never been a vampire.
He is bullshitting like Wade would. total new persona. Like he stopped with all the comedy, but he couldn't quite do it all the way.
Him like RDJ, like Tony's gonna get swapped for Doctor Doom, and we don't have to get into that now. But
oh boy,
that who knows? The multiverse is full of so many possibilities, right?
I have a working
Sasquatch note
on Sasquatch that you might see, and you were complaining about how it's kind of like a in-kept movie. I truly think the way they spaced it right before SDCC is they wanted to see just how well it would do, so they knew exactly which way they wanted to take it. And with all the love and everybody, all of a sudden everybody's coming back, I think that that's the whole point, was to put it beforehand. And I kind of wonder if RDJ was still going to be Dr. Doom if this movie had bombed. I feel like that maybe they had like multiple like multiverse ways to go with this just in case. But since it went the better than they ever expected, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to bring RDJ back. Oh yeah, Chris Evans says he's going to come back for something else too. Oh yeah, Hugh Jackman said he's not done with Wolverine. So, and now of course there's the talk of Spider-Man joining Deadpool and Wolverine in another movie. So I mean,
until you're 90.
Just want to say hi to Brian. Thanks for stopping in, Brian.
What up? Mike, what up? Richard, what up?
It's so okay. I want to get back to the favorite moments. Dan, any thoughts? Yep. Josh?
Yep.
What's your favorite moment, if you could pick one?
Yeah, well, shout out to Richard's favorite moments, the first fight between Wolverine and Deadpool, awesome. And then there was the fight in the Honda, and they had like 3 different fight scenes right together. But my favorite, I mean, definitely the most memorable for me, that I was just giddy, and then jokes were flying so fast, and there was laughter. I couldn't even hear the follow-up jokes because it was just coming so fast and hard, was him searching for another Wolverine in the different multiverses, and just going through and seeing all these different versions of Logan was just such a treat, and I just couldn't stop smiling, edge of my seat, just eating that up. So
that was mine too, hands down.
And then I will say special mention to what Rohan had mentioned, like the part where I can't remember his actor name right now, but he played Captain America and also
Chris Evans. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. When Chris Evans came out at first, and we all, he's wearing this sort of Mad Max style version of what we all think is Captain America, and for him to pull a fast one on us with that was just. And that was something that I was kind of expecting to happen, like them kind of call out that, the actors playing different roles and sort of that confusion. But it landed really well.
John Byrne, Wolverine.
Yeah, mentions the new John. What was that? X-Men 139.
His first appearance, he has the original suit like he does in the movie, same colors, different mask, much more kitty cat. And his first appearance against the Hulk, but that's that incredible homage to the Todd McFarlane, and I love that they just the fan service around that to give us that. And I'm actually, it's funny. I went with a friend. He's like, "Why didn't they give us the Hulk fight?" And I was like, "No, you save that, Jim."
Yeah, they gave you a little taste, and
it's funny you bring that up. So first of all, I didn't even see the reflection in the claws until I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't either until someone.
I just shared it to I think Dan. I just shared it to Dan.
Yeah, I missed that. It was so much happening all in that moment that I was just so giddy.
But it's funny, Bruce, before the movie, he was saying that was like the big thing he wanted to see. And I told him, I was like, dude, I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, don't put your hopes up on that, because that's like a very specific thing to get to really hope for. And I feel like if you get into like super specific things for a movie, you're more than likely gonna get disappointed. And then it did. Like, I mean, you got a little something.
It was a little tease, Not a full fight or nothing. But
there's rumors of a Hulk versus Wolverine movie in the works.
It's a perfect way to do a Wolverine Hulk movie, right? Can they do Hulk movies yet?
Don't you think
I
that's too much?
So you
So
do, like, you start the movie with that,
I think
build up to that.
I think they have problems with doing a Hulk solo movie, and I don't know how they got around it when they did that original Ed Norton one. But it has something to do with the rights, because Paramount bought the rights way back in the day, and I think they have the rights to solo films with the Hulk, and Marvel can put them in any kind of ensemble. So if it was a Wolverine versus Hulk movie, it wouldn't be a Hulk solo film. It would be a combo movie. So
They would have to. Yeah,
they could do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Unless they made
open up a X-Men movie with Wolverine hunting down, the Hulk, and have Wendigo go for it, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
man,
that would be awesome.
If they
That
did like
would
a
be
short
cool.
release, something that they could go to streaming or something. As
And just for Ryan,
Right?
Brooke
Oh,
Ross
Nick,
is
can
in
you
there.
imagine a quick Marvel presentation,
Yes.
hour 15, or what are they, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
Wolverine
45
hunting
minutes or
down
so.
Wendigo and Hulk.
That'd
You
be cool.
Up in the Rocky Mountains, you could get a little Alpha Flight action in there too. Oh boy,
I'd be chill if they did that, like an
Need
animated
him.
version of that too. That'd be cool.
I think we all would be down for any form of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, animated would be a very cool.
I couldn't imagine them putting out a full length movie for that story, but
I mean, it would probably be pretty standalone, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they could, especially if you added in things like if it started with Wolverine gets recruited by Alpha Flight to help them hunt down Wendigo, and then somehow Hulk gets involved and then becomes a Hulk versus Wolverine thing. I don't know. I feel like they could make a story out of it.
I mean, worst concepts get signed for movies all the time. So
Call it Kevin Feige.
That's an understatement.
We're here to spitball with you. Yeah. So, Josh, did you say what your favorite? Sasquatch. What was your favorite moment?
I love events that happen in cars. My favorite scene, you asked specific, scene. My favorite scene was that car fight. So fucking visceral, so good. And everything, it brought them together in a way that was really key in the middle of the movie to have happen, right? But I think my favorite line, and I'm paraphrasing here, is when there's a break and he's like this this Honda fucks hard, not like your pencil dick, and I was just like, mwah! That is the fucking greatest thing right there. And I remember I giggled out loud and did one of these in the theater, both times I saw it. It was so great. But just to add to that, different things that sparked my fanboy in a way that they paid attention to things about Wolverine's movement. When he does the crawl, you can imagine him doing that in the comic books as a fucking bull, agent of chaos. And then him smashing into the car and forcing it back. He's this brooding force with adamantium bones. He can do that type of shit.
Yeah, there was that moment where he throws Deadpool through the concrete, or he bashes him through it, right? He charges him through it. I remember all of us speculating, was that the Hulk throwing him through, or whatever, right? So it was kind of fun to have that reveal in those moments to see how it really came out. And yeah, I loved that too. Seeing him just charge on all fours like that. Savage,
I mean, that Honda was it Honda Sienna?
The Honda Odyssey.
Odyssey.
That scene was fantastic. I really liked the first fight when they land in the void. Just let's go, and just to build up, and then Deadpool
with the 20th Century Fox logo on it.
Yeah. That whole fight was so good.
So good.
Do you remember the soundtrack that was playing during that fight scene?
Dude, I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember. All I can remember is NSYNC and Like a Prayer.
Those are the ones that stuck.
Really stuck. But yeah, man, it's so good. Another great fight scene that I loved was when they go up against the Deadpool Corps and they do that pan shot through the bus. Oh man, so good. Like I love that. I just love that scene.
They did like a single shot all the way from the street.
It's a pan shot where the camera just follows the action in the bus, and like people are flying out of windows, and
when they jump out the window at the end, when he's like, it's like that John Byrne Wolverine cover.
Yes.
So good.
Dude.
17,
so good.
Love that.
But when he puts on that cowl, that was so satisfying. Like, and like, I hate, I think it's something we got to talk about at some point, whether it's now or later, another stream, but like the spoilers and like supporting each other and not listening to spoilers or like trying to moderate it, because it does take something away from your experience.
Sure.
Like I was expecting him to wear the mask the whole time. And when it happened, I was just blown away, but I felt myself disappointed that I didn't have it the whole time.
I was pretty prepared that he wouldn't be wearing it a lot. And to be honest, I didn't even think about it until it happened. I definitely would have liked to have seen some more, but I'm curious, did you guys like how they did the cowl? Did it look good to you? Because we've heard different that people didn't like it. So I'm just curious to see what you guys think of.
Yes, I love the full Sasquatch shot.
Oh, you didn't see that? Even Sasquatch take their pants off
hey,
during interviews.
I'm surprised.
But this is beautiful.
Where
In every dimension, in every multiverse.
That's the popcorn thing, right?
No.
No,
popcorn.
No, that's not.
But it's also a money bank.
Oh, sweet.
That's cute.
Damn it, I want one of those. So Dan, there was 2 popcorns. I think most people got their hands on this one, but then there was also the Dune spoof one that was they call the blowjob popcorn.
Yeah.
And
I've been with some Squatch gals like that.
Yeah, so
very similar. It's inspired.
I think most people got those Wolverine or Deadpool ones that you had there.
Okay.
But yeah, so you guys.
As far as the mask goes, we were talking about. I don't think that you can really win with the mask. And
it's like art.
Lose. So it's like I think that they did the right thing by just doing it for the one battle. And I already had a problem with Hugh Jackman's sideburns not really being more like a chin strap than sideburns to me. So I wasn't feeling that, but I thought it was really cool that they brought out the mask. And as far as the white eyes, you either got to do the white eyes or he's got to wear black makeup around his eyelids, right? Otherwise, it just isn't going to look great. But I thought it looked good considering that it's really difficult to pull something like somebody in a Wolverine mask without it looking cosplay-y or ridiculous, So I thought that they pulled it off.
Yeah, I do too. I would love to see it with
What's up, Brandon?
With not the white lies, like we were talking on the other stream. I'd love to see them do it with more like the Batman style, where it's like black around his eyes and stuff. But if you do that, you kind of have to commit to he's just wearing that throughout a whole scene. You know what I mean? Like they do with Batman. Like they never show Batman with the black around his eyes, right? Like he's either Bruce Wayne or he's in his bad outfit with the black around his eyes. I think they would have to do that with Wolverine as opposed to pulling it on his head like they did in the movie.
Yeah, the white eyes is perfect because you get that a lot in the comic books as well.
What's going on, Brandon?
And just it matches the aesthetic with Deadpool so well. Yeah, they did it really well, man.
And to what you were saying, Dan, you're not going to please everybody. It's true. It's like comic art. Some art's going to appeal to one person. It's not going to appeal to the other. Yeah. Same thing with movies, costumes, all these decisions that get made. I guess you just got to try and go for the best possible amount of positivity for it. And I think they probably got it with the mask. So, really cool to finally get Wolverine with the mask. They've teased it in the past. Was it the second Wolverine movie where he's on the plane and he opens the box and he sees the cowl and stuff? Or it's like a post-credit scene?
That was a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And that looks cool, man. Like that
Yeah.
looked really, really
And that was
cool.
the John Byrne outfit.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it wasn't
Yeah.
the yellow. It was the brown and what would you call that? Sienna color.
Richard,
I'll be right back. I'm listening to y'all.
I promise you, Richard, we will touch on that at some point. I think we have to.
Pump your brakes, good looking.
So another thing I wanted to talk about was so we talked about Blade and Wesley Snipes being an awesome cameo. There were some other amazing cameos. I just want to kind of touch about them or touch on them all too. Let's start off with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. I loved how they teased they misdirected us to make us think, oh, maybe this is Cap, because he's kind of got the blue, but he had these like wraps on his hands that had a little bit of the Cap red in there. And so before he lifts that shawl or whatever he's wearing, that hood he's wearing, you wonder like, oh crap. And I mean, Deadpool makes references to that too. That was he did a really good job with that Johnny Storm thing. What did you guys think of Chris Evans?
Yeah, I that was such a treat. And I knew it was coming. But just for Chris Evans to do his thing, that was great. And like seeing the reaction of people in the theater, the misdirect was awesome. And just I know a lot of people didn't like the post credit. Like if they gave us a world building thing, like you were talking about,
I didn't like it. It's that it was all we got. And
right.
It was a hilarious joke.
Yeah.
But I hate when they make us sit through all that credits and then they give us a joke. And it's like I sat through this for like some substance, not for just another joke on top of like a movie just chock full of jokes. And Deadpool's kind of always done that, but and maybe I should have expected it, but I really wanted something a little bit more, especially since we've been starving for MCU like cool thing building, and we didn't get it.
Well,
and this is the only movie of the entire year, right? So
right. I was kind of complaining earlier that of spoilers, but knowing that we were only going to get that end credit scene and preparing myself for it, I think helped. Hi Dan, are you just in comments now?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Dan. I think he said something and then he went on mute or an off camera, but that's fine. Yeah, to what Dan's saying, like that was one of the things. Like I had heard that this was going to be the greatest end credit scene like ever. Like that was a rumor that was circulating, and so that really like hyped me up. And then it was just like that's the joke, and I was like, well, it's funny, but it's not what I was waiting for. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. What was kind of cool about the cameos and especially the one that with Johnny Storm was that I did hear prior to the movie that like long ago that was a potential cameo, but for whatever reason, like I didn't go into the movie remembering a lot of the things, so things still hit me as a bit of a surprise, and I might and like I was like, oh yeah, they did say that this was going to happen, but I wasn't going like, oh, it's Johnny Storm, he's he's going to be Johnny Storm. It didn't even register until it happened.
I think a lot of that. I don't know about you guys, but I like did total media blackout for like 3 days. So I didn't think about the movie was coming up, but I didn't think about anything. So I think that's what it was, is that it wasn't on my mind fresh. I hadn't been thinking about it. I just said the movie's coming. So a lot of that stuff just caught me off guard, even though I should have known that some of it was going to happen.
Yeah, same. I had a similar thing, Troy. I kind of like, I mean, I was on IG, but nothing popped up. But I was completely off Twitter, and I was even kind of avoiding YouTube a little bit because they always use spoilery thumbnails that drives me nuts because you can't really avoid those. But yeah, same thing. I kind of went a little bit blackout on potential potential spoilers. So okay,
but we were all like reading into this for like the past year. We were hearing all of these.
yeah. But,
So it
but
was
like what I was saying was a lot of it I just kind of forgot about. So when it happened, I was surprised enough that it was still fun, right? And it wasn't like, oh, I knew that was going to happen, kind of thing.
Yeah. That moment just like I was saying, it hit, even though I had a feeling something like that was gonna come up. That they nailed it.
Yeah. Although we saw that plenty of times in all the things that had leaked, that Fox logo was awesome.
Right.
And go
sorry,
ahead.
I was just gonna mention that Richard, I think he was speaking to like while the credits were rolling when they showed like basically like the last 20 years of like Hugh Jackman.
Oh, the behind the scenes. Yeah.
That was, I thought, I felt like a little emotional at that moment. I think, like, especially like seeing some of the stuff from the Logan movie. Just seeing X-23. What's her name? The actor. Seeing her grow up from like the child, and I just was like, oh fuck! I remember like how good she was, how impressed I was.
One problem with that is I've not seen it twice yet. I'm going to. There is some funny stuff written in those credits that I caught just a little bit out of. I was like, did that really just say that? Because there was like a BJ consultant on there. And
No, I did not see that.
I was not reading that. I was on my phone at this point.
Yeah, I was sitting like reading that, and my son was sitting next to me. He goes, "Did that say what it said?" And it's like right at the top. I was like, "Did that say?" And he said, "Yeah, that's what it said." And I'm like, "What the hell?" So I started trying to read that, but you can't do both. Read that, and
because I remember
rewatchability. Right, I walked out of the theater and I was like, "That movie gave us so many gifts." Like so much to keep going back to.
Yeah, it was a Christmas stocking that just never emptied. Yeah.
there were I mean, like, honestly, I'm a Canadian and Ryan Reynolds is obviously a big Canadian, and he puts that into the films too, and he's done that since Deadpool. And there were little Canadian Easter eggs like all over the place that I love, like seeing Tower back out in the back of the void, and like I think in the Deadpool core there was a Canadian Deadpool there.
Nice Pool.
Yeah,
dude, it was so funny. I'm in the theater watching. I'm like, Nice Pool sounds like Ryan. I love this.
And then there was Welsh Pool who was actually that was Paul Mullen who's like the top striker for his soccer team. Yeah, he was the one with the Welsh flag, the dragon and the green. Paul Mullen was in the movie, and then Rob McElhenney, his co-owner on he was a TVA agent.
Which one?
But I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. I have
a theory that it's the one he says, "I'll make eye contact with you, even though I can't see your eyes because I can feel it."
Probably is something like that. So again, just something I got to look out for on the second time around. But yeah, it's just, I mean, that movie is just chock full of stuff.
The entire Reynolds family's in there. That's crazy to me. Even the kid baby.
Entire what?
The Reynolds, his Blake was in there.
Yeah, she was Lady Pool.
Baby Deadpool was his son. Kid Deadpool was one of their kids. All their kids were in that movie as Deadpools.
And then I was saying to the other guys on the other stream, I'm pretty sure Matthew McConaughey was the voice of the cowboy pool, the Western Pool, or whatever he's called. I'm like 95% sure that was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I heard that rumor, but it sounded like a kind of like it could be Matthew McConaughey.
I don't know. I'm pretty good with that stuff. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. I'll have to do some Google digging, but it felt all right. Yeah. So then let's get back to the cameos. So we all knew Jennifer Garner was going to come. I mean, whatever. Elektra was kind of.
Olivia's like, and you are.
But Channing Tatum as Gambit was pretty fun. I mean, it makes so much sense given like how many years he was rumored, and he was.
Yeah.
He was.
I also saw. Yeah, it looks like he was the voice. Yeah.
Oh, the Oracle.
That's what Google told me.
Richard, we could totally watch it 10 times, and we'll probably won't see everything
for sure.
But yeah, so we were talking about how Channing Tatum kind of looked a little, like
He was a beefy Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit suit. And you know what? I think I kind of caught the action scenes on Twitter today. I think that was more in that one like reveal scene. I just think that thing around his neck, like Gambit's, it just kind of like pushes all your face fat out.
He looked like a cat in toast.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually like having a thick boy summer like we joked about yesterday.
No, it's just that when you think of Remy, you think of, I don't know, a 6'4" slender guy, like, and
think of him in the crop top making beignets, right?
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like the comic accurate costume was so worth any kind of uncomfortability that actor.
Yeah, it was fine for sure.
But I also
I'm
think
so happy for him too.
They kind of cheapened it a little bit for, I think, humor. Like, I think they could MCU that costume and still make it comic accurate, but it would be like more like, I don't know, like texturey and material and like fit better. And I
it's a little more like a Halloween costume.
It felt a little plasticky. At least the chest plate did. But man, the action scenes were fantastic.
Cool.
Like that
they got
with all the cards, and then and then he starts sticking cards in people.
Everybody, he's like,
so friggin' good. I kind of wanted him to have a staff, and I know he made one out of like energy, but I kind of wish he had like an actual staff that he then charged up. That was the only thing I would have done differently with that whole scene. But that was super cool. I mean, that's a pretty big highlight for me just watching Gambit.
I really enjoyed his accent too. Like I know that it was like a little cringy, but
again, on
part
purpose.
of the fun. Like,
on purpose.
Yeah, well, he's from the Bayou, Channing Tatum. That's why he's the perfect Gambit.
Is he really?
Like beautiful to look at?
I didn't know
he's from. Yeah, he's like from like
Louisiana.
So he knows that Creole.
That is a hard accent to pull off.
It is.
I feel like he did a really good job with it. So that makes sense. That would make sense that he.
And like, I don't even know if like Gambit, as we know Gambit from the cartoons and stuff, if that's even like an accurate Louisiana like Cajun accent. Like,
oh, I know what you mean.
Like if you've ever watched Swamp People on History Channel, it's they don't sound like Gambit.
No.
I mean there's similarities, but it's like I feel like the Gambit version's like a cleaner, more clear accent, and so maybe Channing was like a little bit more accurate than what we know from like the animated series and stuff like that. So that's maybe why it felt a little like cheesy or a little bit off. But yeah, I didn't know that he was from there. That's cool. That makes it make way more sense. I always just thought he kind of just looks like Gambit, like his face. He's got like a.
Yeah, I remember reading an article, and he was just like, this is the part of the world I'm from. I speak Creole. Like, I've always loved this character, and he almost happened as Gambit a bunch of times. It didn't happen, so I'm really pumped for him that it got to happen, and they brought Gambit in such a like comic accurate, awesome way.
Yeah, Brandon, I saw the staff, but I think he kind of made that out of energy. Like I didn't ever see him like with a real staff, but maybe
it happened so fast. I don't remember. Like I felt like he just pulled a rebar out or something.
Maybe that's what happened, or he grabbed a staff from another
enemy.
I think it was one of those sticks, like they show where you flip it and it pops out both sides.
Oh,
okay.
I think it was like that. That's why
like a riot stick.
I mean, there was a lot going on, so I could have just
there's so much going on. It's easy to get lost on that, like
for sure.
If you only seen it once, you're like, yeah, it was obviously the staff. You saw, like, what in the hell are you paying attention to, guy?
You have to do your research afterwards to know.
It was interesting. It was interesting too that some of those, I guess, cronies, minions that were cameoed.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah,
were not the actors though. They were just like filler people.
different Juggernaut.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah,
Hazel, Juggernaut, some of the other mutants that were like from Last Stand and stuff.
We got Pyro, the original Pyro, and the original Toad.
Yeah.
Original Toad, original Pyro, original Sabretooth. That's all awesome.
Right.
But then
that was a fun moment, by the way.
Azazel, Juggernaut, and
Zazel, is that the actor?
that wasn't the guy who plays
I didn't think so.
In first class. Anyways, there are a few others. I can't think of all the names, but still cool. It just made for a cool fight scene, and I kind of wish we got a little more Azazel, because that's basically Nightcrawler powers, and Nightcrawler's
They gave him a couple of shots, that's for sure. Yeah. There's so many. How can you fit it all in there?
I know.
But talk about the negative, the big negative.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Issue. Please don't let this ruin the movie, people. The timeline don't make sense at all. Because
stop, Troy, if you've heard this before about X-Men movies.
Well, the thing is that they got out of the way. They say that the Logan movie happened at the same time that Deadpool happens. It's in the same universe. Logan died, but that Logan killed all the X-Men, which would include Colossus, who was just at a meal with everybody else. I mean, the time don't equal up. Like, he had to have gone to the future and the past, which doesn't make no sense, because if he could do that, they would just pull out the same Wolverine.
So I think I know this. I was thinking about the same thing, right? What they show when they show the sacred timeline, when the anchor being dies, it retroactively starts deleting that universe, and it could take up to thousands of years. So at some point on that timeline, when that anchor being dies, is when that universe starts to slowly decay and die. So it happened in the future in Deadpool's universe. So Deadpool knew the Wolverine when he was in his heyday, right? When Wolverine, like present day, essentially. But then when you
Deadpool
was going to the future through
you just grab the Wolverine that was still alive right then and there, instead of having to worry about going to find a different one, if that was the case. Because if it was in the future, he's still alive right then and there, then so they could just grab him and use him. So they had to have, like, that's how they did it, is they sit there and said he's already dead. So that's my, I mean, yes, it's nitpicking.
Right, that makes sense.
I know it's nitpicking, but it bothered me just enough to where it's just like, I wish they'd clarify that.
You know what? I think you've opened a Pandora's box here, Troy, because now I'm starting to, like, even what Josh just said about retroactively. So, like, if the timeline gets to a point and then the guy dies, then it starts to deteriorate backwards. But the thing is, like, time, that means, but
he would still be alive when it was deteriorating. That makes no.
And then there's also just like there's the thought of, like, isn't it all kind of happening at the same time in a sense too, right? Like if you traveled into the future, he would have been dead. And, like, now we're getting into, like, quantum mechanics and, like,
right.
Because comics.
Like, I think you can't go there because we're not Stephen Hawking, and nothing will make sense with time travel stuff. But yeah, there's probably a couple little holes if you did.
They need to do some Deadpool jokes about how whack the MCU time travel stuff is. I feel like there needed to be more time travel jokes, because it really didn't.
But to be honest, like, a lot of the MCU time stuff has made sense. Like, even with Endgame, when they started referencing all these movies like Hot Tub Time Machine and all, like Back to the Future. It like Ruffalo's explanation kind of makes sense, right? Where, like, I can't even say it now, but like that, I remember sort of making sense. And then, like, also just like when something happens, a new branch like can break off, right? So there's just always new timelines going all over the place. Like that all kind of makes sense to me in my head. But yeah, now this like
Yeah, makes
being
enough sense. Yeah.
this being that actually throws it all off for me, because this anchor being or whatever. Because if you think about it, time is just always going at any time, right? So like this guy dies up here, but he wasn't alive back here. How did the timeline go on when he wasn't alive? Like, I don't know. It's just that one really opens up a lot of like what.
Yeah, I mean, the way he described it was right. When the anchor being dies, time continues for a short time, and then it starts erasing backwards. But like I said, again, if you just needed a Wolverine, there's still one alive right then and there. If that's not already hasn't happened yet, because it's one of those things. If it has already happened, then you can't save him. But if it hasn't happened, you can't go save him, because if you went and saved him, then he would never died in the first place. Which means it's see what I'm saying? It's one of those things like the time machine where the guy tries to save his wife, but every time he saves her, she dies because she has to die in order for him to make the time machine. It's that same principle. So he had to have died at that time, which means Colossus should be dead, which means all the other X-Men should be dead. They weren't.
You humans quibbling over time. You know everything that will happen or has ever happened. It's already happened. It's a wheel, man.
I think this is a perfect.
Figure it out. Give yourselves a couple hundred years. Oh, by the way, Bruce from Up North Comics. I'm a big fan. Big fan. You guys are huge throughout the multiverse. Huge.
All right.
Love your costume, Josh.
I'm gonna
costume. Josh isn't here. It's Sasquatch.
Oh, okay. I'm following now.
It's okay. You're just a human.
I mean,
the resemblance is striking.
I mean, come on, right?
You got to work them eyebrows. That's it.
I
get
don't
the eyebrows and you're there.
Eyebrows being so.
I mean, like
swoopy.
seriously, right? Like,
there you go.
Ready to die.
Oh man,
that was so fun.
I had to do the comparison. It's like Tyler Mane here with us right now.
Yeah. Now we get our sit down with him. So don't you have a new book?
He sees it. He sees it. It's crazy. It's like really, actually awesome cosplay right now.
You guys think it's cosplay? This is fucking hilarious.
Hi, Richard.
All right, so I promised Richard we'd get into it. I know it's not X-Men, but it was pretty big. And since we're talking MCU, let's just touch on it quickly. We got a big announcement. Surprisingly, shocked that they would put Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine on the same weekend as Comic-Con, but and then kind of almost upstage the movie with the news of Robert Downey Jr. is returning, but not as Tony Stark. He is now going to be the big bad. He is going to be Dr. Doom. What do you guys? How are you feeling about all this new development? Just out of curiosity.
Well, as long as Deadpool shows up and says, "Ain't that Iron Man?" at some point in time in one of the movies,
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
I was shocked when I first saw it, and I was like, But then I was like, "Holy fuck!"
That is so accurate to my reaction.
And I thought, I'm like, okay, they bring in the Russos. They know, like, and the Russos, knowing them, like, they've all been working this out. And if this wasn't going to be amazing, they wouldn't be doing it.
You're literally
RDJ. He's so amazing that, like, he's going to do something just incredible.
That was literally my entire inner monologue during that. When that happened.
Oh, I could read your fucking mind, bro.
Like exactly to a T. Like I was kind of like, well, I don't know if I like this, but then it was like the Russos are back. They wouldn't do this just on a whim. They're gonna come up with something sick. Plus, casting's always kind of sometimes you're like, Pedro Pascal is as Reed Richards. I don't know, but I guarantee you I'm gonna love it. And by the time we're like a movie or two deep into Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, I'm gonna love it too. Like,
You're not gonna want anybody else, probably, right?
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is a perfect example, right? Like when he got cast, everybody hated it.
Yeah.
Nobody liked it. Now he's like
Australian. He's too tall.
quintessential Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll all come around to it. And like said,
Yeah.
or Sasquatch said, I don't know who was speaking. It sounded like John.
I was
Basically,
feeling
you guys have faith
conflicted
in
at
the process.
first, but the more I thought about it, I mean, it does make sense. You just got to trust the process, right? It's like we were talking about last night, you know, like he's always going to be Iron Man to me. But like you guys were saying, you know, these actors are good at what they do and they can play other characters. You know, it happened with Torch and Cap. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to watch and see what they do with it.
And there's so many things they could do. Like,
yeah,
he could be a Tony variant. He could be, Victor Von Doom snatches, like steals his essence or steals his body or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they scar his face and like he wears the mask a lot and you know, or
it could be that Tony Stark became Doom in that universe that Doctor Strange went to, because you saw the Doom bots, you know, like what if that's the progression of Tony Stark, right?
Or what
if you say he's Victor Von Doom, like the Russo brothers?
What if in his universe Tony's the anchor being and he steals his body so that he could like save his universe, but he wants to control the
I like that.
Like, I don't know. That just came to me in a
fiction.
You know, like who knows? There's just so many ways it could go. So
something that
if he's not even the bad guy,
huh?
We are assuming he's the bad guy because he's Doctor Doom, but Doctor Doom's not always been the bad guy. There's always been that thing that what if they bring the Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe into the MCU and he's really the bad guy and they have to have someone to counter that.
I mean, who knows?
He did mention Robert Downey Jr. Like the first thing he said was like, "I wanted to be a bad guy," right, or something like that. And
he auditioned for the Doom in the original Fantastic Four movie, so he's been ruminating on that one for a while.
But I also do wonder, like, you know, Troy, you were saying how maybe they called an audible depending on the success of the Wolverine movie. I almost was feeling like the opposite way. Like if they were going to reveal something big like that, it would be because the movie flopped and they needed to come out with something else to like hold on to be excited about. Because if Tony Stark is Doom, like in some way, shouldn't that be saved as a big reveal for the movie and not something that you reveal at San Diego Comic-Con? Instead, like to me, it feels more like, no, this is just Robert Downey Jr. playing another character.
They could be planting the seed in our brains to think exactly that, you know?
Could be. I mean, we're going to spec, right? We're going to speculate on this.
And I honestly could see, like, I could see a world where we get both Tony Stark back plus Doom and they face off. You know what I mean? Like, we're in the multiverse.
Iron Man.
All for that.
But and like think of the reaction of a Tom Holland Spider-Man seeing Doom lift his mask and it's Tony. Like the emotional impact of something like that, or any of the MCU characters, but especially Tom Holland. Like
I like that.
Brutal. Like that would be such a like pit in the stomach moment. Or he thinks it's Tony and then he like blasts him or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that could be pretty awesome.
I like that.
I never thought of that. That's amazing.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. So like I think there's so much potential with this, and like RDJ is the best. So I'm pretty pumped about it. There is a world where I just would have loved to have just seen a Doctor Doom character built from scratch, but like maybe we still will get that, like in a sense. Who knows? We'll see. I also love the fact like there could be some magic involved too, because Doom's not all tech and stuff; he's magic too. So maybe there's something magical, a magical explanation to the way he looks. Like, I don't know.
Get more animosity between Robert Downey Jr. and Doctor Strange. What's his face?
Yeah. Well, we've already seen that they play off each other kind of pretty well. So, yeah. Richard says it all. Trust the Russo brothers, and they brought McFeely back, the one half of the writers of Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War, all the Russo movies. So, it's like the whole team's back together, minus one writer. So I feel pretty good about it. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Doom? Anything? All right.
I'm excited. Yeah, like you said, like it's in Russo brothers we trust.
I agree. All right, so let's if I don't know who brought books, but I'd love to just show a couple books. I know I threw it out last minute. I have a few, but let's take a look at some books and just talk about the things that kind of make you think of the movie, or the movie made you think of this book. If anybody wants to jump in, I could jump in. All right, hold on.
Little Owl Love.
Oh,
Damn, that's weird. I had that same book in my.
How about this one?
Meet me at the moon.
Oh, there's a lot of love there.
If you have To the Moon and Back, we're like on the same.
I'm in the hotel room right now, so I didn't bring any books.
Right.
No,
Oh, you're at a hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. All right.
No worries, dude. All right. So I guess I'll go. I'll start it off. Since we have Tyler Main with us here, I thought these two would be pretty appropriate. The first battles of Wolverine versus Sabretooth.
who does the art on the Sabretooth Wolverine close-up?
This one is Barry Windsor Smith.
Yeah.
Alan Davis.
This one is Alan Davis. You're right.
Dude, the 210 through 213 right there, those 4 issues were like my grails as like a 5th grader. Just being like, I would always see those like, oh wow, like
they used to be so much more expensive.
Yeah, they were more expensive than the other back issues.
Like,
yeah,
that's sick.
So killer.
Like, I feel like I just did that top 5 undervalued books. Like this must be more valued. Just
how can you get so much action on the cover when you're so zoomed into their faces? It's an amazing.
This
cover.
might be like the best Sabretooth Wolverine cover. Like, I don't know. There's a bunch, but like,
well, that's a good thing for a future show.
This is awesome, right?
That is a good call. I would agree with you there, Ryan. I think that is a top
it's still
3.
good. I to be honest, like even just before I pulled it out, like I haven't even really thought about it. Like this is so good.
Yeah.
There's 222. No, sorry. 220. It's the one where
221 is the one where he's sticking the claws in.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
In his
or was that? Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. 221.
Yeah.
No, 222.
Because now I'm tripping because 221 is like the Sinister one, right?
Yeah. I don't know how
They all have that blue background with the
No, it's 221. 221 is the Sinister book.
All right, let's go to the long boxes, boys.
And then 222 is the Wolverine Sabretooth.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
I love that one too.
All right. I got other books, but I want to give anybody else who has a chance because I don't want to just show all the same books. So if
Troy's ready.
I have books out the wazoo.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, first up, so I'm sticking with your theme. The Wolverine Sabretooth.
Oh, very cool.
Nice. I love those covers.
I love seeing modern covers because I'm not as into the modern, and so they're always fresh for me.
Well, the thing is, I love this Sabretooth. I hate that Wolverine because it looks like he has his face smashed. But meanwhile, that Wolverine looks pretty.
That's a cool perspective too. Like I love the kind of like sort of over the shoulder look at.
You can see it. He's got his throat. He's got him by the throat. He's stabbed through the chest right there.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Nice.
Got the
Yes.
Josh is such a nerd. I love it.
I got my little
OG
guys too. Pew, pew, pew.
That's really OG.
Here, I'll bring mine here. I got this was all from my favorite scene, right? Like, so, okay, not sure if well, here, let's pull out that one. Of course, you know, you remember like how vibrant the colors were, like when this scene came on, and
good.
Like, so absurd when they showed this. I was like,
you know what? I forgot this was skulls.
Yeah.
So when I saw that in the movie, I was like, "Oh wow! I guess there's skulls on the cover there."
Yeah.
And when I figured out, I was like, "Oh yeah, there's
just a mountain of pink and purple, like reflect. It was just so, and it was raining, and it's just like so absurd. It's like this is a fucking comic book. Like this is what because you could never put this into reality, and they did, and it was just like, what the hell?
I just read through like the entire Outback saga. Like I finished it a month or two ago, so it's super fresh in my head too. And that's a really when the Reavers come. That's awesome.
I mean, apparently it's time to dig these out and sell them because like this is just like always been a cool cover, but like I can't believe how much that's like popping up. I'm seeing everywhere. Of course. You know, when they showed him walking up, I think they were playing poker at the table or something. And yeah, that was really fun. And oh man, and then we didn't even mention like short Wolverine in that scene, and then the
short King Wolverine.
Yeah, so fun. And now, okay, there was one that I really enjoyed, and I didn't dig that one out, but I feel like it was from the I pulled this one though.
Patch.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm guessing this is when they were doing like the street fight where he was just like so feral. Like
no, that was Age of Apocalypse Wolverine.
Okay, yeah, I knew that there was something a little more gritty about it.
He had the stub arm.
Yes. Okay, thank you. That's
such a great deep
and the really long flowing hair. Now that I remember. Okay, thank you for that because I was trying to remember where they were going with that. But absolutely love that scene. So I just brought those kind of scene books that I felt
dope. Back to Troy. I know he's got more. Yeah, I have that one. That's a great book.
That's I like this one because the Wolverine 88 is their first thing, but that's like the Deadpool before he becomes off the wall crazy guy. This is the actual
fourth wall breaking. Okay.
Yeah,
that was prior to his character change.
And we had to bring the highlight of the movie.
Dog pool, nice.
First appearance of dog pool.
You know that dog. I said it on the other stream. That was UK's ugliest dog last year.
Hey, hang on, me. You know what my wife said since we got home? We need to go to the pound and see if we can find a dog that looks like that.
Hi, Allie.
Hi, Allie.
And since we got, if you've got
lady pool, head pool.
Okay, can somebody please explain this cover to me? Are her breasts out and like her belly button is showing? Is that like a slit between her costume?
No,
why does it look?
This is what she looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just so form fitting. You can see her belly button and.
Lots to eat when I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're cupped.
It's just the shading, Dan.
The shading is incredible.
If you want to go buy
love that shading.
It looks more like an airbrushed kind of a costume.
Yeah.
And I got one more, but it's technically two. But I had to bring out the J. Scott Campbell.
Yes.
Nice.
And for Dan, apparently, because he likes this kind of thing.
Oh, baby.
With the tidy whities.
You can't do a J. Scott Campbell without a little bit of sex appeal. So thank you.
And that's all I got, guys. Well, I mean, I got lots.
You should go to me then, because I can piggyback on that.
Awesome.
Ivan Teo's new Wolverine World War III. I just love like the juxtaposition. I've never seen this type of someone sticking a sword and someone sticking their claws into someone on a cover before. So That's pretty great,
I love the muscle definition.
right? And just the difference in height. And you open it up, it's Adam Kubert. It's really good. I don't know if the story's any good, but the art's pretty fucking awesome.
No kidding.
I was blown away by Wesley Snipes being in this.
Hell yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, and here's this. I guess Wesley
It's
Snipes
his book, right?
book.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then Wesley Snipes wields, which I thought was a really great deep cut,
Yes.
Punisher's bazooka.
And they were
Yes.
talking about how Punisher was there,
Yeah.
but died.
So it was this Punisher that that was in there that we didn't get a chance to see.
Oh, that's cool.
Did they ride the Honda Odyssey into battle? Is that
They sure
is
did.
that where he shot the rocket launcher out of?
He
Cool.
sure did.
Wolverine in the back like a little kid.
And like
That
we
was
were
so
talking
real.
about earlier.
Oh, first
Just-
Mobius.
No, yeah, it's got the TVA and the Johnny
Ew.
Storm.
I gotta read that book. I have it. Yeah, that's awesome. I like that Mobius is in the corner box. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, this is supposed to be
Action packed.
resemble Simonson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's what So I thought this was great.
That'd be a good book to get him to sign.
What's that?
That'd be a good book to get him to sign at Terrific.
Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
There's so many books I've been trying to like figure out what to get signed. I have it pretty narrowed down, but I'm still like going back and forth on a few things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys there.
Yeah,
Josh
Well,
on
well,
Saturday, and you're gonna
right?
meet Sasquatch
all
on
five
Sunday.
of us are going to be
so
there.
cool. So excited. Dude, show me that NYX.
Oh, so you guys, kind of the story behind this, right? This I have like a booth where I sell comic books, and I put a poster in the window. Hey, you got comic books? Sell them to me. And this kid called me up. He's like, "Oh, I got a bunch of comic books that I inherited, and I need some money for college, and I have this first appearance of Juggernaut." So I was like, "Oh, that's what I'm paying you for." And I didn't even look through the other boxes, and lo and behold, the whole run of this and this book was in there.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
And I've been wanting this book, but I was like, I don't want to pay for it, and it's so minty. Mwah.
Oh, baby.
Mwah. And I'm just so excited that the potential of having X-23, Laura Kenny in the MCU. And I think they purposely brought her back in the end to show us that can be, pulled on for the future. I would love her iteration in the MCU. It'll
Well,
give us
she got brought into his universe, right? With Logan. So I personally think they could totally pull out Colossus too if they really wanted to do the right thing. But
I love Deadpool's version of Colossus too. He's better than what the MCU,
Well, the MCU hasn't done a version,
right?
but the Fox version was.
Are we just gonna accept that he's like always in his metallic form? Like,
Well, that was because of. I can't concentrate.
no, dude, Sasquatch, dude,
No, it's all good.
how sweaty are you?
It's so fucking sweaty.
Itchy and sweaty, no doubt.
Oh, so itchy.
Blew you off.
I was gonna say I lost my train of thought. What was I thought? Oh no, it's because
Okay.
the original movie was so low budget, right? They didn't want to animate him like coming in and out of form, and then plus the guy that plays Colossus in the Deadpool movies, he's not built like Peter Rasputin in human form, so they would have had to have found sort of someone like who played him in the original Fox world, but then can that person pull off the accent? So I think it was just easier to like just have him come. All of a sudden, he's already in metal form, but then they've just kept that going through all the movies. But yeah, that's one of my gripes on the movie is that we didn't get any Colossus really.
One more thing about this, guys. I did not know this, but we talked about Matthew McConaughey. There's his character.
Oh, there you have it.
This is his first appearance.
Dude, that's a dope wraparound.
Cool.
It is.
But also in here is Bounty Hunter Wolverine.
Huh.
Hmm.
And is that a universe where it's like more Western and like that's
Yeah.
okay? Cool. I got one more book. This I didn't even know it was in the movie. I can't wait to go back and see it again. I saw it on social and I was like, oh man. Saw the scene, saw the suit, saw Hulk, but I missed the reflection. He does the whole pose. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, I grabbed that book. Iconic. And I should mention, I'm actually gonna try and sell this book on Saturday when I do my claim sale with Brandon from Mon Comics.
Sick.
8 o'clock here on this channel. So tune in and you might be able to buy this puppy.
Sold.
Little shameless plug there. All right. Any closing thoughts about Deadpool and Wolverine, guys?
Did anybody mention? I wasn't here in the beginning. Did anybody mention what they didn't like about the movie?
Yeah, we had
I ruined it.
a few little gripes and
Yeah. Troy brought up the mind bending timeline not working, Pandora's box problems. So
we talked a little bit about how the hype kind of took away from a lot of the excitement.
And just that I didn't get my MCU future fix.
When it came to that.
And I didn't get my Colossus fix.
Yeah, where's the fastball special?
Yeah.
Oof.
Right.
That just
I
happened.
was waiting for it.
That was a pretty great opportunity to get a fastball special, but it wasn't. I mean, I understand it wasn't about. It was about Wolverine and Deadpool together, so like, I get it, but it would have been great if he could have maybe made it to that fight in the void or something like that. Would have been great, you know.
Right. Give him something.
Yeah, I think we could all agree that movie was very messy, but I'm gonna watch rewatchability scale fucking 12.
Yep.
I can't wait to just put down the background and just go through it and just listen and just take it all in. And we're so lucky.
Yeah, it was
We're living in a good time for MCU movies, that's for sure. It's about to take off.
Hopefully it's on the up and up. That's it seems like it is. So
we got Marvel Jesus or MJ if you're dirty.
Yeah. MJ.
The Messiah. Yeah, so before we sign off, just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to say what you got coming up. Anything, any big events coming up for you guys?
Terrificon.
What's Terrificon?
Right, so we're all going to Connecticut. I thought it was Ohio for the last 6 months until I just learned it's in Connecticut.
You better change those flights.
God,
you're gonna be mighty disappointed when you land in Columbus.
Yeah, right.
That's gonna be an expensive Uber ride.
Yeah, seriously.
Just stoked to see you guys. I'm trying to also build that budget so I can have a lot of money to play with. I'm comic book rich right now, but not so much in the funds. And no, I am because I'm saving for that big book, right? I'm still trying to buy the whole one.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to buy the giant size X-Men, one or the other.
Yep.
I had a bad. I'll tell you about it later. But I bought a color touched Hulk 181, and then had to send that back for a refund. So I'm still on the hunt. So kind of a little happy about still being able to hunt too.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of fun with you get to anticipate it.
Yeah, I get to chase a little longer. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
I just sold my Mahomes rookie card finally. So
congratulations, man. That's a big chunk.
That money goes into my X-Men 1 fund. We're getting closer. I'm starting to look around a little bit, just to see what comes.
Dipping your toes in the water.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind stacking the fund a little bit more. Maybe get a little higher grade. We'll see. See how the year continues to play out. Any other things going on? I mean, I guess Bruce, any videos coming up? Troy, anything on your channels?
I will have a video coming up of just before the con. and then my next video after that one will be after we get back.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of content coming out of the weekend in Connecticut at Terrificon. Troy, anything coming?
I have a box of comics I bought today at a $1 comic yard sale.
Sweet.
So that's the only thing I got, and then I'm not doing anything else.
Nice. And you got a lot of like good Deadpool and Wolverine stuff there you could show off in a video one of these days. And then, yeah, of course, like I said, we're gonna, there's gonna be plenty of Terrificon related material coming out on the weekend, and then after the weekend, a birdie told me that the Sasquatch is gonna be on the con floor, causing a ruckus.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard. The celebrity of it all. You humans are so fucking annoying. But I gotta tell you, I fall in love with your cons, your ex-cons, and then through an ex-con, I fell in love with going to Comic Cons. It's amazing. It's the best of all worlds, and I gotta tell you, y'all are famous in all the multiverse, and I can't wait to meet you. Josh can't either, but Josh Saturday, Squatch on Sunday. If you see me, say hi. I will say something rude and flattering. And
I want to know.
Interview.
I want to know how many people mistake the Squatch for Tyler Mane Sabretooth. That's what I want.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna have to face fuck a Wolverine.
Well, I can't wait for a soaking wet hug.
Well, I'm getting an R-rated rating on this stream tonight. That's okay. Very Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, I'll just mention before I go. I already kind of teased, but this Saturday here on my channel, the Colossus Collector channel, I will be doing a team up claim sale with Brandon from Mon Comics at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I guess that's 5 p.m. Pacific time. That means that's 7 p.m. Central time and 6 p.m. Mountain time. I know. I feel bad for the Central and the Mountain people because their timeline, their times always get thrown out the window. But I can't say everything all the time. So, but yeah, that's going down on Saturday evening night. I'm hoping to put some more funds in the X-Men 1 fund, and Brandon's selling some great books too, so tune in for that. And
hell yes,
with that, I hereby call this session closed, and hope you guys all tune into the next Council of X meeting that will come sooner or later. Everybody have a great night.